on the corner, sitting on 22nd Street. Do you have a couple quarters? It'll make you feel so complete. As I sit on my cardboard box as the cold wind blows, I keep on hearing voices, they're yapping all day long. I wish they'd stop and listen and just sing my favorite songs. Some good old-fashioned powwow Indian songs. Mother, I need you to know that I miss you. And Father, I wonder if you're still there. My medication's on vacation, and my mind, it keeps on racing, leaving me nowhere to go. Need my Indian song. Way ah ya ya ya, way ah way ya oh way ya ya, way oh way ya yo, way ah ya ya ya, way oh way ya oh way. Searching for that sacred medicine, and that sacred medicine is going to search for me. And once we are united, we're going to cast this all across the earth for you and your people, so that you too can be well, so that you too can be healed.
You're listening to CKMS 102.7 FM Radio Waterloo, and that was Indian Song by Isaac Murdoch. We are Two White Feather and Lori Gentle Eagle, and of course, Cedar the amazing emotional support pup. This is the Red Road Journey, where we aim to amplify Indigenous voices to heal ourselves, our relatives, our communities, and our planet. We are broadcasting from the traditional territories of the Neutral, Anishinaabeg, and Haudenosaunee peoples. Today, on the Red Road Journey, we continue to learn more about the 7 sacred laws, or grandfather teachings. So far, we have shared about respect as understood through the buffalo, honesty as represented by Sabe, or Bigfoot, bravery as demonstrated by the bear, wisdom as taught through the actions of the beaver, and now we turn our attention to humility. Humility is recognizing our place within the sacred hoop of life and acknowledging that we are not more or less important than anyone else. Humility emphasizes the sacred connection to all of creation and it prioritizes the well-being of the collective over our individual needs. The wolf lives its life in a pack, and it does what is best for the pack, especially in times of uncertainty or attack. The wolf knows that we all have a role in taking care of our mother, the earth, and each other. This reminds us to be kind and to never use gifts against each other in acts of humiliation. Take pride in your people, be open and acknowledge that we are always learning. Praise the accomplishments of all, for that is what will foster community and transformation. We're going to share a reading about the wolf teachings that best represent humility. And this wolf teaching comes from Tina Eshkwagan. The wolf is a resourceful spirit who finds ways to survive. It manages to live without being seen by mankind. It is always thought of as bad. It is hunted for its fur and to have it removed from coming into farmlands. It is hunted for bounty. It is feared by man. The wolf is a spirit who survives. It is the instinct of wolves that keeps it alive. Its instinct is its medicine for all of humankind. It instinctively knows which animals are sick and ill. It instinctively knows that the sick and ill animals should be taken down before other animals get sick and ill. This is for survival for it and other animals. The wolf has its enemies, and its name is human. Only man hates the wolf so much as to want it exterminated. The wolf survives by using its instinct, and it will survive. Instinct is a way of surviving hard times. You have to think before you act. You have to plan what you and others are going to do. You have to be able to change that plan when something comes up and interferes with your original plan. You need to change plans fast as needed. You need to do your part and to the best of your ability. The wolf survives by being in a family. Family is important to the wolf. Every wolf protects the family. The alpha male and the alpha female mate for life. The siblings watch over the pups. The wolves hunt in a pack. The wolves share their food first with the young, the old, and the weak. The wolves look after each other. The wolves see to it that the needs of the family come first. The wolf acts on its needs for survival. It lives to survive. It doesn't wait for things to happen. It makes things happen. It takes control. It doesn't wait for anything to land in its lap. The wolf has hearing and uses it to listen. It has howls that it uses to communicate. It has teeth to fight with. It has its size to hold its ground against attack. It has its pack to keep it safe. It has its sense of smell when something is near, and it has its fur to keep it warm. It uses everything to keep it safe from everything. The wolf is responsible for man to give something back to the people. It has always been man's sidekick. It was the animal assigned to help humans survive. It was a protector. It was humans' friend. But man turned his back on his friend and did everything to hurt him. Wolf has to teach humans about protecting their families, to take care of the young, the old, and the weak, to provide safe home and community for its people, to care for one another, to build homes for its people, to help whenever needed, to change ways if things are not working out, to have good food and warm clothes for all, to have good leadership, to have lasting relationships, to have the best interests of everyone at heart, to see that humans survive their greed. The wolf howls at the moon to communicate with spirits, to ask when the time will come for humans to learn the true teachings which the moon holds onto for safekeeping. The moon has the teachings that are hidden from humankind to protect humankind. One day, the wolf will get permission from the moon to share the true teachings. The true teachings hidden are about the spirit world and how life was really created. It tells of evolution into finding cures for the incurable. It holds the secret of time travel. It holds the secrets of having life after death. It holds the secrets of the laws of the universe. It holds the information of the knowledge keepers of earth, wind, fire, and life. It has all the answers for living and dying. It is too early for man to have access to the true teachings. We, as humankind, need to heal ourselves first. So thank you there to Tina Eshkwagagwan. Apologize if I'm not pronouncing your last name correctly. She shares some really good stuff on social media in particular that I've come across, and that one is on the wolf teachings for healing. We're now going to listen once again to our elder Dave Quershen talk. But this time, rather than continuing the larger story that he was telling us through the little snippets of the grandfather teachings that we've played thus far, we're going to ask that you listen as he spoke during the pandemic, actually. And in this clip, he stresses that we as human beings have much to learn from nature.
My dear relatives, it really is indeed an honor to be given this opportunity to share with all of you this evening. You know, as a people, we've always been more or less sidelined and marginalized and not really being given these opportunities to share our understanding of our way of life that our elders have passed on to us. There's a word that we use in our language, Ode'min, and translated really means a good way of life. And this evening I want to share with each of you, which I believe is a very important initiative that we're initiating here in our homeland. Today we have arrived in a pivotal moment of great change and great opportunity. This is a time of transformation. In today's reality, we live in a world with so much uncertainty and confusion. Our whole lives have changed with a virus, sending us into shock with the thought of losing control. Humanity still struggles to find its true purpose. Our society has buried truth, has buried kindness, and has buried freedom. Our world is divided, and we're separated from each other and disconnected from the land. We've used our gift of free choice to create a selfish world of materialism at great cost to nature itself. We have much to learn from nature As humanity, we've created systems and ideologies that keep us separated rather than uniting us. By her example, nature can show us how to work together. The earth is a living entity with an intelligence we need to connect with. She is the true teacher of life who helps find ourselves as we go within our own being. We each have a spirit that defines our identity and gives us purpose and meaning. Within the core of Mother Earth is a fire that is transferred to all who have been born from the earth. When the fire inside us goes out, our physical being returns to the earth, while our spirit returns to its source in the spiritual realm. The spirit lives forever. Earth, air, water, and fire are nature's elements of life. Life could not flourish or sustain itself without each one of these elements. They are the roots of life. We've neglected to show respect for these elements that sustain life. Fire is one of the most misused of these elements. Today I want to share with you the true spiritual power of fire. Humanity has misused and abused this element, and this is very evident in the weapons of war. Fire is a symbol of the sun, of the Great Spirit, a symbol of hope, purification, and rebirth. We have fires that have been unleashed by nature as a clear sign that humankind cannot control nature. The old people who know the power of the sacred fire say, "Go to the fire. This is where your healing will begin. The fire will transform you into a being of light and kindness." Fire is central to our evolution. The sacred element of fire was lit from ancient times. As a people, we have survived the genocide with the help of the sacred fire. Although we went underground during the hard times of domination over our way of life, the sacred fire kept the heart warm, bringing the spirit of our ancestors within our presence to keep us strong. The fire held a vision they brought us, a vision of hope and peace. Our vision came from many generations of our people living by the fire. Through the sacred fire comes the direction from spirit. The fire acts as a doorway for the entrance of spirit. As we light the sacred fires, it brings the essence of the light of the sun, the essence of spirit, into our presence. The sacred fire can help us in our journey to find our spiritual identity, our purpose, and our dreams. This journey is the first step in transforming ourselves to becoming people of the heart. The fire has the power to ignite a passionate, blazing fire of love and kindness within each of us. The fire can help melt the ice in our hearts. We have strayed so far away from the fire, we have become lost in the darkness of our misguided minds. Today, I humbly ask the world to join our efforts here on the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, December 21st of this year, to light a sacred fire wherever you are on the planet of Mother Earth. The fire will light the path to our return, a return to light after the longest night. To the indigenous, and I'm sure other cultures, the longest night represents the birth of the new sun. We begin our new year with the new sun as we pledge our commitment to the spirit. It is time to rediscover the real power of fire, which shines a light on truth. If you are fortunate enough to have a place to light a sacred fire, use it. For those in the cities, invest in candles to light your fire. Speak words of gratitude to the fire. to inspook the Spirit to come within our presence to help us in these difficult and challenging times. Indigenous prophecies shared that a time would come when we would be called as Indigenous people to lead a movement of awakening. The element of fire can bring us out of this darkness, and then we can begin sharing the knowledge we have as a spiritual people that love the land so much. We ask you to join us and help us to light the world on fire and clear a path, offering an entrance for the spirit of our ancestors. At the present time, we are all in the midst of a pandemic, which in a few months has turned our world upside down. And it's most caused by imbalance in the natural world. There's been a loss of habitat and biodiversity. And it's not only creating extinction of the animal world, but directly causes the animal viruses to spread to human beings. As Indigenous people, we have continued to watch and witness the destruction of Mother Earth because of man's behavior and his attitude that he can control life and he can control nature. And we know that the prophecies that have been handed down to us as a people, it has always given us hope, and it has a defined direction on how we should live and behave as human beings. It is well understood within the lodges of our people that we were given original instructions on how to live, how to behave as human beings. And we have a very strong memory, a genetic memory that remembers the creation stories of our people. We have a very strong memory of the original instructions that all of humanity was given. And we do have a universal responsibility. And that universal responsibility is to take care of the earth, to be real stewards of the land. With all that we are witnessing today, the pandemic, the fires, the floods, the winds, all of these natural forces that are on the move is only a result of how we have treated the earth. That Mother Earth is only trying to encourage us to reflect on what we are doing to life, what we are doing to each other. And it has always been in the teachings of our people in the sacred lodges that what needs to be centered in our lives is our children. Children were born with rights. Every child is born with rights. Every child was born with the right to have a good home. Every child was born to have what it needed in order to be able to grow. Food, water, medicine, and the teachings that would help them to fulfill their own destiny in taking care of the earth. And it is said by the grandmothers of our nations that a child was born with the right to be told the truth. We have deceived our children, that we've created an environment that does not reflect the truth that they need to hear. Today we face a universal spiritual identity crisis where most human beings have not been able to connect with that part of their being that we call the spirit that holds their identity, that holds their dreams, that holds the gifts that they carry, that define who they are. And to know who you are, which is reflected in our identity, is very important. In the lodges of our nations, we are encouraged to consider this element that constitutes our being that we call the spirit. I always like to share some of the knowledge that has come from the lodges of our people. And I remember one line particularly that came through an elder that had just come out of ceremony to remind the people. And he said this in the language, Maya, kanenda gukmiwe uchicha kon. translated, the best way that I can translate that is what the elder had said, that the most important part of our being is the spirit that reflects our identity, that carries the memory of the original instructions that we were given by the Great Spirit, of why we were given this gift of life that we enjoy today as human beings. And that purpose, the universal purpose, is to bring peace into this world, to bring love into this world. And we've failed in many ways, that we continue to support institutions, ideologies, and concepts and systems that have no moral, ethical values that should be grounded in whatever we do and whatever we create. Should be based on values and teachings that treat life as sacred, that we create whatever we need in order to live and to survive and to show respect for the land. Many people today struggle to find and give definition to what a sustainable life would be. And where I see that so many have failed is to overstep what I believe is the most important part that we need to reflect on and consider, is the spiritual nature, that we should acknowledge that there is a spirit in each of us that is seen within the ceremonies of our people as a shining blue light that is in every living being, whether it be the human beings, the animal world, the bird world. Everything that has been given life has that shining blue light. The trees that are being destroyed, that act as real brothers to us as human beings, that give us the breath of life, that give us medicine, that give us so much, that today that the reason why we destroy the forest is to create more land for agriculture or whatever, for the cattle industry. And there's so many different things that we're doing today that is in absolute total opposition of the values and the teachings that Indigenous people, have always tried to share. We have said it over and over and over again, that what we do to the land, we do to ourselves. And this is what we are witnessing today, is a reflection of what we have done to the land. Now we feel, now we are challenged by what we are surrounded by, with the forces of nature itself. Nature has unleashed these forces to wake us up to the reality of what we are doing to each other and what we are doing to the land. And in prophecy it was foretold that it would be here in our homeland that we call Turtle Island, that the truth would be revealed. And the truth, we see it being revealed right now. A lot of the negative behavior that we see that is being reflected by leadership is part of the revealing of the truth, that we can't continue to rely on delusional leaders that have no understanding of the moral and ethical responsibilities that we have as human beings. And we are told that each of us are born to be sovereign beings, that we have a right to be able to act in expressing our own free will and choosing and deciding the way that we want to live. Our sovereignty comes from having a relationship with the highest power that exists, that we call the Great Spirit. And it is also understood by our people that in the spiritual realm is held the higher intelligence that we need to be guided by. That is why we are a ceremonial people. That is why we do what we do, to ensure that we have connection to that higher spiritual intelligence that we need in order to help guide us and to help find ways and means to find ourselves out of this insanity that we've created. There's so much that we need to do. And in that prophecy, it was foretold that there would be a great awakening that would happen. And when the awakening would happen, the indigenous people would be propelled into the forefront of that awakening or that movement to help lead all the family, our brothers and sisters, to come to realize that there is a way, that there is a way that we can have hope for the future, that there is a way that we can find ourselves again, that we can come to remember those original instructions that we were given on how we should take care of the earth and how we should take care of each other. It is not about protest. It is not about trying to tear down a system that refuses to change, but rather what we need to do is begin with ourselves as individuals to find the answers within ourselves, which is held within the Spirit itself. That is why today we make the call to light the sacred fires around the world, because it is an element that can help us move forward. It is an element that can help us to reach that level of connection to the spiritual world, because the fire has always acted as a doorway to the spiritual world. And during the times of our own challenges as a people, where there were so many attempts to destroy our identity, to destroy our relationship with the land, it never succeeded. Because we continued to light the sacred fires, even though we went underground. We went to the mountains and we went to the islands to light the sacred fires. And we did not light those sacred fires only for ourselves. We lit those sacred fires for all of our brothers and sisters that needed to one day come to understand that what their true purpose would be in living this human life. And these sacred fires today, I'm hoping that we can be motivated and inspired by the guidance that are being given by the elders, the knowledge keepers of our people here in our homeland. And they're telling us, they're advising us, to light those fires and begin there, because the answers will be found within those fires. We cannot overstep the Spirit and not give the Spirit the opportunity to be able to guide us and to direct us to the way that we need to go in order to move out of this world that has created so much darkness, so much hatred, so much violence. Today we see so much racial intolerance. Why is it that we cannot come to accept the truth and the fact that we are all related and we're all connected? And within the human family is diversity, like in nature. No one tree is the same. No one animal looks the same. There's always a diversity in everything. And there is diversity within the human family. And the challenge for us is to be able to come together as one heart, to live from the heart in the sense that recognizing that there is diversity in the human family, and the diversity that we see that is evident within the human family was not to divide us, was not to separate us, but it was to give us strength, that we would have greater understanding and meaning of our existence as human beings, that within that diversity are gifts that are held, that would create greater understanding, and we need to be open to each other of the knowledge that each of us may carry that can help bring a better world. And we must be inspired to do it for our children, for all children. And we also need to consider the fact, that the children are not being mentored properly from the knowledge keepers that have an understanding of the sacredness of life itself. It's been my hope that, that one day that the knowledge keepers of our people in this part of the world would come to be recognized and acknowledged for the kind of knowledge that we hold that can help all people.
Okay. Some really, powerful words there by Elder Dave Korshen. And you may have heard our little pack of wolves in the background. We're actually recording this from home today, and we won't be live in the studio as we have another commitment. We hope you join us at our other commitment as well, which is a spring market through Healing of the Seven Generations, and it's going to be held at Willow River Park. And it gets underway between 11 and 3 today. And there's also a feast afterwards in the latter part of the afternoon if you're wanting to join for that as well too. But yeah, Dave Gorshen, again, this time humility, and really speaking about fire and that power of the fire. I loved what he said there, that it shines the light of truth. And in the wise woman tradition, which I often talk about, that's my background, we of course have a relationship to fire. Fire is one of the elements that we hold sacred. And many of us reclaim the power of fire because, of course, many of our ancestors suffered harm, right? They were burned at the stake, and, various other methods were used to kill off those bright lights and people that were walking their truths. So in the wise woman tradition, we talk about balancing humility with honor, knowing our worth, but not at the expense of others. We also talk about weaving, and weaving is a skill that teaches us about the interconnectedness of all beings within the web of life. The threads represent how we influence one another at a cosmic level, reminding us that we are not alone. We weave our way through our own lives, tangling with the threads of others and creating a beautiful tapestry. A tapestry of existence that can reflect beauty in diversity, if we allow it to be as it is. So let's come together as one heart, right? As Elder Dave Gorshen spoke about. Use the fire as a sacred tool, right? To give us strength, to give us that greater understanding, to be open to each other as they share their truths. Always remembering that we all carry knowledge, we all carry gifts, and that we are all a very important part of the web of life, or the sacred hoop, the circle. So just as we did in weeks past with the other grandfather teachings that we spoke of, we do have a question for you, our listeners, and we'd love to hear from you. So because we're not doing it live, we're not going to give out the phone number at the studio. Instead, we really do encourage people to visit our social media pages. So we have a Facebook and we have an Instagram page. And what we'd like you to do is really reflect on this teaching of humility and tell us about a time you were made to feel like you did not belong, or that there was something wrong with you. And what we really want to hear is the transformative piece, right? We want to emphasize that. What helped you challenge this belief and get in touch with your divine light again? So I know it's been a challenging week, right? And if I reflect on my week, certainly the sacred teaching of humility has come up for me. Been a part of a couple of circles, so to speak, right? A team meeting at work, and then another gathering that I attended. And it's very difficult for me to speak up in front of people. I always say I'm a little bit shy, but really I think it's about, having lots of instances in my life where that voice was taken away from me. I was misunderstood or punished for speaking what I knew to be my truths. So it's very difficult for me to speak up. And when I do, it's usually because I've thought things through, or I'm holding that feather, right? I'm holding that feather and I'm allowing Creator to speak through me and trusting, right, that what needs to be shared is going to be shared in a good way. So yeah, there were instances this week where I, really felt the need to speak my truth, and didn't always come out perfectly, but we're not perfect, right? Hence the teaching of humility. And at any rate, wasn't always met, in the way certainly that I had hoped for, right? And so those were the times I think that I didn't feel like I was accepted, or I didn't feel like what I had to say was okay to share. In terms of what helped me challenge this belief, really just going back to the teaching. So it's ironic that this was the one that we had planned to do for this show, and knowing that we all have knowledge, we all have gifts, we all have lived and living experiences that are important to share at very divine moments in time, and that I'm not the only one sitting around that circle, and perhaps there's somebody else that needed to hear what I had said, or something in what I said or how I said it resonated with them and it touched their life, and we can build, right? We can build on that. At both of the circles, one person approached me afterwards and reached out and showed support, and then at the other gathering, over the time that we spent together, there were people that were coming forward and just opening up and sharing a bit about themselves, and coming to understand, I think, better where I was coming from, because they didn't allow that awkward moment to shut things down. They went with the invitation, right, to examine sometimes what is uncomfortable, right, and to move through that and take away a deeper understanding of things and of people. So that's me getting the ball rolling. So hopefully we'll hear from some of you on our social media. And of course, if you do share, what we've been doing is we have been putting people's names into a hat, and we are going to do a draw at the end of our series on the 7 sacred laws, and share a handmade gift that Two White Feather and I create to reflect our time together on the 7 sacred grandfather teachings. So we're going to go out today with playing some music, and miigwech to Two White Feather for coordinating this part of the show. So we have I Wish I Knew Your Name by Logan Staats, and Wolves Don't Live by the Rules by Elisapie. And we're going to finish off with the Humble Song by the Ode'min Quay Singers. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Mama B. Never run down comfort shore. Back when you could smoke inside, she hid behind a burning cigarette. The chip porcelain, it matched her smile. Husband's ashes in a backseat. Calling that box by his first name. She refused to say goodbye. Not even after flames. And I wanna love like this, through the fake and through the film. And I just wanna love the less, through the fake and through the film. And I wish I knew your name, so that I could find your grave. And I'd sing your ghostly soul, and I'd tell you that you weren't wrong. With your husband's ashes in your backseat, calling that box by his first name. You refused to say goodbye. Not even after flames. And I wanna love like this, through the fake and through the film. And I just wanna love the less, through the fake and through the film. Across the ocean, through the storm, across the desert in the sun. Now all my lovers left me, and every single one.
Wolves don't live by the rules. Wolves don't live by the rules. don't live by the rules. Wolves don't live by the rules. Valleys to hills, you can hear the cry. They have to fight to stay alive. No one can change it. Mother Nature knows the reason why. Oh, wolves don't live by the rules. Oh, wolves don't live by the rules. They're born to kill and to be free. Their life is hard, which is meant to be. The cry of the wild is the only way they can see. Oh, wolves don't live by the rules. Oh, wolves don't live by the rules. Oh, wolves don't live by the rules. Oh, wolves don't live by the rules.
We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Creator. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Creator. We gotta know what He knows. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Mishomis. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Mishomis. We gotta know what He knows. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Nokomis. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Nokomis. We gotta know what she knows. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our children. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our children. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the winged. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the winged. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the swimmers. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the swimmers. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the crawlers. We gotta